This is the book of Matthew, chapter 16, starting at verse 3, and it reads, "And in the morning it will be foul weather today, for the sky is red and lowering. O ye hypocrites, ye can discern the face of the sky, but can ye not discern the signs of the times?" Verse 4, "A wicked and adulterous generation seeketh after a sign, and there shall no sign be given unto it, but the sign of the prophet Jonas. And he left them and departed." I want to start off by giving all praises, all honor, and all glory to called Loyim, by Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahushai, by Hashem, Kodash Barakatham. I say double honors to my apostles, the elders of the great millstone, teach and do rule well. I say peace and salutations to the Akim across the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth with faith and with sincerity, as well as risking their lives, as well as their freedom to do so now more so than ever. Shalom to the Akim and the Aqua, thought they're listening and learning. Lord, willingly this was edifying. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad in the land of other nations, appearing like the other nations, with whom subscribe to this truth. To you, I say shalom. It's your brother Yahweh Sab out of the GMS Cleveland Church, a fellow servant, and I'm coming at you with another lesson through the Spirit and through the power of Yahweh Shem Hashai. This lesson is in regards to an article brother's been going through as of lately. It was a situation where this trucking company called Yellow Freight, I guess it's been around for like quite some time. Basically it collapsed, and basically that's going to affect the whole trucking industry, and it's like 30,000 people lost their jobs. And I wanted to ad lib with it because at first I was going to do a video on it, then I seen brothers do a video on it, but then it so happened that actually affects our area. So, through the Spirit, the Lord made me, put it on my spirit to do a video on it. And, I listened to a few individuals do a video on it. Well, no, I seen a few individuals do a video on it. But the one brother that I listened to do the video was the elder brick brother, St. Benji, the beloved brother, St. Benji from Chicago. He did a video on it. And he basically came at it with... because basically he was saying how, basically this show that we at the end, and, it was prophecy, and, how this thing was going to affect so many other things. Because that's how the Lord is doing it. Everything he's doing is systematic, you know what I mean? This ain't a little thing. Like he said, it may seem like a little number, but it's not a little number, you know what I mean? On top of the fact, when they're not really telling you the real accurate numbers as far as unemployment and all that, you know what I mean? In actuality, the job scene is way worse than what people believe. And that's why you have crime, intensifying and whatnot. Just today, I left the hospital just today. I stopped in the store, and a dude just he didn't say it to me personally, but he was saying how somebody just got killed on this street. Now I'm looking up at the sky and it looked like a blood moon. I remember brothers showing that like the last couple of days. So there's a lot of judgment going on. I think, if I'm not mistaken, the blood moons affect Israel more so than the heathen. I forget. I might be reading some other shit, but Salakia for that. But long story short, I'm not surprised. In Cleveland alone, the basically the violence has upticked to the point where they got to use the county sheriffs to patrol the streets. And I was just speaking on the shit though. Like, that's the funny part about it. I was just like, back in the day they used to actually patrol the streets, to see, showing you how basically like how under policed or under basically they don't have the proper number, they don't have enough manpower. If they got to get the county to actually lend sheriffs to patrol. So call Lawyer because the brother just was going into different points about how what's going on is going to affect things in so many different ways. And all that's prophecy, you know what I mean? I'm going to get that. This is 2 Ezra chapter 15, and I'm going to start at verse 1, and it reads, "Behold," it says, "speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. Fear not the imaginations against them, Slakia. Fear not the imaginations against thee. Let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee. So when you go into that word prophecy, prophesy, pro is before, and facade is to say. So they saying say before, And the scriptures, the Bible, is a book of prophecies. Things are written before that come to pass, after. And that's what makes the Bible unlike any other book, And then it says that the prophecies, the things that was written, are faithful and true, because they're going to come to pass. Scriptures talk about how the Most High say, to all be fulfilled, roughly paraphrase. And the scriptures also talk about how the Most High, he can't be, basically he's not a liar. He can't be made a liar. All of these things that he has written is going to come to pass. It says, for all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness. So, we got 2/3 of our people that basically won't come back to the law, statutes, commandments. Brother was going in today. He was talking about how, basically, the Lord being merciful. But, he talked about, like, what's that, 2nd Ezra chapter 15, I believe. They calls for basically sinful. No, that might be 16. They sent for amendment, meaning to change, But, 2/3 Jake so hard-headed, they not going to change, And that's why they going to get judged on this side. But, Slovakia. So, with that being said, I'm going to bring out a little bit of this article. Slovakia, I'm trying to drive and do this, trying to multitask, and ain't working out too good. But, with that being said, like I said, that was prophetic, because the scriptures talk about it's going to be a lack of jobs in, the end times. Jacob's trouble was going to be a hell of a time. And the brother was also going into that, because it was a very inspiring video, I believe that, certain brothers that just speak very well. He's one of those brothers. And he was going into how, if you ain't with the Lord, you completely fucked. He was like, even back in the day, Israel had some skills, or they knew how to do certain type of things. They had certain resources. We might have not had, we might have been in not subjection, but we, basically I forgot what that's called when I can't think of it right now either. Slovakia. But when basically we had to pay homage to Rome, like a vassal. We was a vassal state on the Rome, so we had to pay them. But we still had, we still had our own certain amount of substance. That's where you even get they still was able to flee to the mountains of Masada, you know what I mean? But, he was going into how, like, today is totally different. So this is going to be a totally different, and that's why I can surely see that Jacob's trouble, that when the scriptures talk about it'll be like no time before, it's been many of judgments that happened in Israel, but nothing like this, because Jacob's going to be so helpless. Man, that just really hit home too. But he was going into basically how with these, layoffs and these jobs basically failing, that's going to go into, that's going to be cause of why all these things, one of the reasons why these things are going to take place. This is the book of Ecclesiastes chapter 12 and verse 1, and it reads, remember now thy Creator in the days of thy youth, while the evil days come not, nor the years draw nigh, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them, while the sun or the light or the moon or the stars be not darkened. And usually sun, light, moon, stars go into understanding, wisdom, knowledge. Be not darkened, nor the clouds return after the rain, in the days when the keepers of the house shall tremble. And when you go into the keepers of the houses, or the keepers of the house, I forgot how the brother broke it down. He said, but when you go into economists, it basically means watcher of the house or keeper of the house or something like that. And, you know, basically these economists are the ones that's forecasting. They looking at how, you know, the money's moving in Babylon. When times are good, you know, things are way more plentiful. When things are bad, you know, that's their whole position, you know. And that's why you got certain economists, as much as they'll try to sugarcoat this shit, you got some that automatically saying this place is for doom and gloom. You know, like that guy, Robert Kiyosaki, Peter Schiff. You know, you got a few of them that actually keep it 100. You know, it says, in the days when the keepers of the house shall tremble because they see is no hope for this place, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease. Grinders is the workers, because the workers turn these jobs. You know, when you go into basically the word grinders, it should go into employment, right? So it's the workers. It says, bow themselves, and the grinders cease because they are few, and those that look out of the windows be darkened. So again, these economists going to be looking and they see no future for this place. And the doors shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinders is low. That company basically is about to get rid of 30,000 positions, and they had to file chapter 10 bankruptcy, whatever. They had to file bankruptcy. And the thing is, what make it even worse, I believe you made mention of it, but I know this fact. They basically had got a loan from the government for like 700 million, like just last year or the year before prior. So they wasn't able to repay back that loan. And you've had, you know, it's kind of deadly how they did it too, because you think that's the only business that got money from the government? Oh no, but don't believe that. You know, you had all these stimulus and all these PPP loans and all this old shit. So you had all this money that was floating around, but the government, you know, they already knew that the economy was already fucked up. They basically shot. It's like a motherfucker, you know, self-injuring themselves that they're trying to get away from something. You know what I mean? Like they basically killed themselves. They poisoned, you know, the government shut this bitch down and expected it to, how would you expect it to make money? You know what I mean? Yeah, like, for real, like, and shall rise, it says, and the doors shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low, and he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low. And you know, usually we just talk about how terrible the music is. He was going into like the wickedness of the music back in the day. It was wicked, but it's at an all-time new level of wickedness. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, when you really listen to some of this shit that they be playing, like, I mean, if it ain't talking about some adultery or getting high on some drug. I was just listening to something that young boy, never NBA young boy. I say young boy NBA. I was just listening to him. I've never really listened to his music, and like it was actually like a skit from a video, and dude basically he was mocking him. And he played some of his music. And that was the first time. And I'm like, damn, he sound like Kodak Black or something. Like, you could barely understand what he's saying. It did, you know, you wonder, people like, well, they can understand because it's the country. And yeah, you know, country people speak a little different. But, you know, no, that's some spirits on that shit. Like, you can barely understand what this man's saying. That demon, you hear that demon talking on him. You know what I mean? But... yeah, the music suck right now because how wicked everything is. So I'm gonna get a few scriptures. Because again, this collapse is gonna affect everything, and it's prophetic. This is all out of the scriptures. What it's gonna, like the brother's going into, is gonna affect. You know, people gonna be, again. I just heard somebody got shot today, and he said, "Guess what? It was over. Food. Not making this shit up." He said over some food. And then you could tell dude was shook. He said there was so much blood, he not cleaning the shit up. And the police and ambulance and everybody came, and it just, yeah. You know it's going to be bad here if they talk about they go get the sheriffs. The sheriffs can't patrol everything. Fuck is you talking about? It didn't do the spirit. That looked like something else to me. But anyhow, collapse of trucking giant Yellow leaves Summit County employees seeing red. Summit County is Akron area where your boy LeBron, is from. So, that's the only reason why I chose to dive into the article as well, because, it's affecting, Ohio. Hundreds of Yellow freight workers in Summit County lose jobs. Locations in Copley, Richfield Village, and Greene shut down. Union workers say company failed to take advantage of wage benefit concessions from Teamsters. Hundreds of Yellow freight employees at company locations in Copley, Greene, and Richfield were left jobless Monday after the stunning collapse of one of the nation's largest trucking companies. The company has always been in financial trouble, but the ship sunk quick, said Lee Volkov, whose last day at the Richfield location was Friday. Local employees on Monday said the situation deteriorated quickly last week. On Friday, the company said it was ceasing normal operations and its location nationwide would be closed. The Teamsters Union, which represents about 22,000 Yellow workers nationwide, said it had been notified Monday the company will file for bankruptcy, confirming media reports over the weekend. Dock worker and Burbank Village resident Keith Stevenson said he started with He started with Yellow Freight 35 years ago in New York and has been at the Copley location for 16 years. Well, at least he should have something saved up, though, you know what I mean? But the thing is this, that mean that pension dead, I think. I'm not for sure, but I think because the company bankrupt, now that's a union, so I don't know how exactly that worked. I'm pretty sure the union probably still got, or they saying they do, but I mean, I think the unions had to get bailed out and everything when everything got shut down. So America really is like, it's funny and it's not. Because it's sober, like the brother said. He said, when you take time to think about it, this is the time to lock in with the Lord. If you're a man in the truth, or if you a person that know about the truth and, trying to, because the Lord, when he bring it, he going to bring it quickly. And that's what they kept on saying. It happened quickly. It happened quick. Doc says, I thought I'd leave on my own terms, not theirs, he said Monday at the Teamsters Local 24 location on West Market Street in Fair Lawn. We gave and we gave. Over the years, the company's union members have made significant concessions in wages, 50% at one point, said Local 24 business agent Ed Dodson, and benefits, hoping the hauler would maneuver its way out of a lingering financial quagmire. So yeah, they shocked. They can't figure it out. They like, shit, we done took pay cuts and shit, and y'all still ain't got the fucking. Then y'all. Now that's funny. Like it says, but in Copley on Monday, the end of Yellow was starkly evident. The company's location on Oak Avenue was blocked by trailers with a sign posted at the guard gate referring to the company's demise. All company operations have ceased as of Sunday, July 30th, 2023, and coming into a new month. That shit funny. So yeah. Things could have been, they going to keep it going into it. So, point is, I want to hear them talk about the 30,000 people. Well, this is in Akron. It says, he said the company has been remiss in keeping its 22,000 union workers aware of its intentions, including its local employees. I've got guys showing up for work because they didn't get the message, he said. Charles Farrell, a Copley resident who worked at the Copley location, said most of the remaining less than truckload companies are not unionized, creating more difficulty for workers who can't retire. And the brother brought that up too, because basically they trying to retire, but like he said it's going to be difficult for a person that got that much time in. Like this dude said he got 35 years in. Well, he going to demand top dollar, but companies ain't really trying to pay nothing top dollar. Like right now, it's real fucked up. Certain jobs people don't want to do. And then certain jobs ain't trying to pay shit. So yeah, it's a quagmire, like they said in the article. They're afraid we're going to come in and try to organize, he said. Right, because no company really want to deal with no union. That once it's a union, you got to pay a fair wage. You got to do certain things. It says, Farrell said that despite Yellow's woes and a consensus among local workers that it had been mismanaged, the job was worth keeping. By far, this job was the best job I've ever had in my life. Well, damn, the curses hit his ass. So at the end of the day, and that's part of scripture. When you go into the book of Isaiah chapter 19, point is verse 15. I'm gonna start at verse 14 though. It says, "The Lord hath mingled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof, and they have caused Egypt to err in every way thereof, as Salaki, in every Salaki." It says, "And they have caused Egypt to err in every work thereof, as a drunken man staggereth in his vomit. Neither shall there be any work for Egypt which the head or tail, branch or rush may do." So the perverse spirits you seeing is these different lifestyles. You got these men wanting women. The brother's going into that. He was talking about how, it was a video he's going to put up. He was talking about how literally you had a man dressed up as a woman in a woman bathroom, but basically this man was aroused because he's watching them. So he was talking about how so much division in the country because you got women. Well, not just women. You got men. You got families, period, that don't want their children having to deal with that, especially the little girl. But while you got that going on, you got women having sex with their little students. Now, that ain't really off because, when you go into the scriptures, like these are men. Like I think I was listening to something earlier and they was talking about he was 16 and the teacher, I don't know how old the teacher was, but by that time he was a man. It's the customs of this place that make it taboo. What is funny though, like for instance, it's about how a woman ain't a woman until she's certain age. But most of us can attest to going to school with women that we wanted to probably fuck with, but they didn't fuck with us because they was fucking an older dude. So just show you how the hypocrisy of everything. You know what I mean? But what it say? It ain't gonna be no work. You know what I mean? And that's gonna lead to when you go up to 19:2, or go back when you go down, it says, "And I will set the Egyptians against Egyptians." And the modern day Egyptian is so-called Babylonians, you so-called Americans, you red Hebrew Edomites. You are the modern day Egyptian. Look at a lot of the customs that you follow after when you go into the masonry. You know what I mean? When you go into what's that goddamn Taft that started the Jehovah Witnesses? It was Taft and it was another guy. But you look at his actual gravestone, his headstone for his grave, it's a pyramid. Then when you go into go ahead, man. Go on. Goofy ass nigga. Salaki. Jake goofy. Like this nigga try to pull out of the way, so I stopped. And then he stopped with me, but you wasn't just trying to slow. You just like this nigga retarded. But Salaki. But with that being said, yeah, he's a Mason. Then Slovakia. What I want. Ezekiel chapter 7, and I'm gonna go to the point. It's Ezekiel chapter 7. I'm gonna start at verse 4 and it reads. I'm gonna start at verse 3 and it reads. "Now is the end come upon thee, and I will send my anger upon thee, and I will judge thee according to thy ways, and I will recompense upon thee all thine abominations." So all the things, because abomination is something that's a filthy and disgusting act. We have laws, statutes, commandments. You so-called blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans, Seminole Indians, West Indians, and Haitians, which go back to the 12 tribes. You are the Israelites, for real. You have customs, and it's things that our people partake in that are abominable to the Most High, that are disgusting. Like a man with a man or a woman with a woman is a disgusting, filthy act of the Most High. Well, he says, "I'm going to recompense thee all thine abominations." So he's going to repay you. "And my eyes shall not spare thee, neither will I have pity, but I will recompense thy ways upon thee." He said, "I'm going to recompense thy ways," which was abominable to him. He's going to recompense them onto you. And I always think about that. Like, well, damn, the Lord could, like, kill you with your lust. You know what I mean? You into homosexuality, maybe you have some homosexuals like do something fucked up to you or something like, you know what I mean? And then you got to understand it's not far-fetched because the Most High God is the king of terrors. He know what you terrified of. He know how to fuck with you more than, you know what I mean? Like, you got to think the most, like, just because he's the ultimate power. It says, but I will recompense thy ways upon thee, and thine abomination shall be in the midst of thee, and ye shall know that I am the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, power and evil, and only evil behold is come. You go into the word evil. Evil is Eve time, ill, bad. So bad times. So we coming into bad times because like I said, that's like I say, I guarantee you through the spirit, you're going to have more major companies like that failing. Because again, if they ain't got no means to make up, like basically when you broke this is proof they broke the supply chain. So if that big ass company failed, and that's a trucking company, like he said, at the end of the day, he said, you got to understand, this is going to affect the trucking industry because that's a major, like from what I heard, this is like not, like basically it was a whole thing that happened in the 80s where they had to, like with the regulation of who can drive trucks and trucking, the whole trucking industry, and that yellow freight basically was able to survive all that. So with a major, and they also said that with this company, their goods, they made sure to sit like to do their runs and do their business cheaper than everybody else, their competitors, because they had such a name for themselves. Well, they wasn't making money, and they had probably a lot of clientele. What do you think? Like, so that means that the price of goods is about to go up, the price of everything about to go up, because the consumer always eats the cost of anything. Don't you know that? It could be something that costs really $2 to make, but they'll put a tax of $6 on it for whatever reason. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, to profit, you could probably put $1.50, but to tax your ass, they could put $6. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, and then you got to remember, the freight move everything. I don't give a fuck if it go by plane, boat. When they get on land, a freight moving that bitch. Even a train might move it, and then they get on a freight. It's getting on a truck. So it's certain things you gonna have to pay for. Like when you had to pay for, motherfuckers was going to state to get that Similac. Lord about to do something gangster. I'm gonna end it with this. This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 6. And the point is verse, I'm gonna start at verse. I'm gonna start at verse 18, 2nd Ezra 16, Salakia, 2nd Ezra 6 and 8. 2nd Ezra 6 and 18. And it said, behold, the days come that I will begin to draw nigh and to visit them that dwell upon the earth. And the Lord is visiting us now. He's visiting us by these different plagues, this unemployment, these different plagues, these different pestilences, this violence, because of all these different things that I've made mention of are mentioned in the scriptures. Verse 19, and I will begin to make inquisition of them, what they be, investigate what they be that have hurt unjustly with their unrighteousness, and when the affliction of Zion shall be fulfilled. And when the world that shall begin to vanish away shall be finished, then will I show these tokens, these signs. The book shall be opened before the firmament, and they shall see all together. And the whole world is seeing these things come to pass, even if they don't truly understand. Things are being seen, you know what I mean? That's why you got people lightweight nervous. You got people make a joke about, oh, this got to be the end of the world. Hey, motherfucker, but yeah, but it ain't a joke, though. You try to laugh it off like that's going to help. You know what I mean? Verse 21, and the children of a year old shall speak with their voices. The women with child shall bring forth untimely children of 3 or 4 months old, going into basically premature children, which that's been happening for a minute now. You know, and happening where children, like I had a preemie. And the crazy part is she had emergency surgery, and the craziest part is she was holding her neck, because all 3 of my daughters, well, I don't know if my middle daughter held her neck, but I know she was able to hold her neck, you know what I mean? Like as a baby when she was premature, you know what I mean? Like till premature to the point where I watched her face change. You know what I'm saying? Like she didn't look like a regular, she didn't look human at first. Real shit. Lord code. And suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown, the full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. And that's going into another prophecy. There's going to be a lack of bread, you know. It's going to be a famine, you know. The scriptures talk about that. You go, you know, it was a lack of bread. This prophecy came to pass once because what happened with the shutdown? What happened with the whole CV? You know, we would go to the grocery store and wasn't no fucking food there. Just imagine how it's going to be now. And just imagine how it's going to be. It wasn't even an issue with the trucking when it happened the first time. Just imagine now. They had 30,000 fucking trucks. They had 30,000 employees. You talking about this major motherfucker? It says verse 23, and the trumpet shall give a sound, which when every man heareth, they shall be suddenly afraid. Verse 24, at that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies, and the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein. The springs of the fountain shall stand still, and in 3 hours they shall not run. This bitch ain't coming back. Shit over with. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, they go, you know, I mean, we ain't talking about just, you know, Esau against Esau. It's going to be any, you know, because for the most part, it's going to be the heathen. You know, Esau, he a bloody, violent man. But, you know, it's going to be, you know, they're going to be jumping on, you know, heathen going to be on heathen. 2/3 nigga going to, you know, because they're going to be trying to survive and feed their family. So, you know, like, you know, Fred go fight Fred, yeah. But niggas going to be after niggas, you know. You know, and that's what you're gonna have to have more. You're gonna have to have some spirituality within you because it's gonna look so bleak. And that's how the Lord wanted to be. You know what I mean? It's gonna take a person to have real faith. If you a carnal individual, you know, and carnality may have to be used in this. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, if you a carnal individual, you ain't got a chance because the Lord about to like fuck this place up. So, you know, that's just the beginning of it. I guarantee you, we only in August. That's how the Lord brought in the beginning of the month. Call lawyer like by ship. But with that being said, if you're so-called Black, Hispanic, Native American, Seminole Indian, West Indian, or Haitian, I implore you to come back to the laws, to statutes, and commandments of your power, whose true name in the Hebrew is Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, or you will be destroyed. With that, I want to give all praise, all honor, and all glory to call Loyam, like Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua Ba'ashem Kodash B'Katham. I say double honors to my apostles, the elders of the great millstone who teach and do rule well. I say peace and salutations to the Akim across the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth with faith and with sincerity, as well as risking their lives and the freedom to do so. Now more so than ever. Shalom to the Akim and the Aqua, to listen and learning. Lord, willingly this is edifying. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad in the land of other nations, appearing like the other nations, but subscribing to the truth. To you, I say shalom. Till next time I'm able to come with another lesson, I'm going to say shalom, shalom, and wafla ball, shalom. Kwam Yasharallah.